Mary is restoring the picture frame. Then Mike pushed in the door. Mary hurriedly hid it behind her. Looking at the murderer of her sister, Mike was furious. He asked her why she didn't go to work. Seeing something unusual about Mary, Mike asked her what she was holding. What a coincidence. And then the maid came to the rescue. Did you find the tools you asked Mary to find? I'm in a hurry. Mike saw this and was relieved of his doubts. After he left, the girl looked at the restored picture frame. She couldn't help but thank Mary. If there is a need for him in the future, we'll definitely help. At the same time, Mike was still torn, but the attitude towards outsiders is different. Whenever he thinks of his sister, Mike will show a tender side. He's sorting through his sister's belongings. He's about to turn on his computer and watch a video of his sister's life. Mary came in with coffee. He saw the book his sister had left behind. Mary can't help but call out the woman's name. Mike stared at her coldly. You have no right to talk about my sister. If it wasn't for you, she wouldn't have been killed. This may seem like an outrageous statement, but it was also what Mary had in mind. He blamed himself for everything. When Mary left, Mike watched the video his sister left behind. It just happened to capture the events of the day. Mary came over to deliver the cake, said the gang leader sent her, trying to smooth things over. See here, Mike made the worst decision, and it made him miss the truth. And then, in a fit of rage, he found Mary. He grabbed her and headed out. When they came out, they met a rich girl coming to the mansion, but Mike didn't give her a second thought. Took Mary to her sister's grave so that Mary could see the place, the woman who was so good to her, and then Mary gets herself killed. What right does she have to live in the world now? But he wasn't the only one who was sad. Mary was also very guilty. If the woman hadn't encouraged her, Mary would have died in Africa, although she is still alive now. And why is it not a punishment for her? She was about to fall into the grave, but then Mike grabbed her. Since Mary returned to the mansion of her own accord, Mike had been shaken. There was even a moment he wished that Mary had nothing to do with his sister's death, but he could never have imagined the video he'd seen during the day had a second half. It clearly showed that when Mary left, the woman did not eat the cake. Instead, she threw it in the trash. She had already thought that the ringleader was up to no good, and even used Mary. But even though she thought of all the possibilities, but she had thought of everything but the person next to her. Her colleague was the eyes of the ringleader. She dripped the poison into her coffee when she wasn't expecting it, and the woman who came back didn't know what to do. She drank the coffee in one go. That's what led to the tragedy, so it has nothing to do with Mary. As for when Mike will know the truth, and how to compensate Mary after knowing the truth, let's look forward to the next episode.